and expertise. It offers the aspiring delegates with an unmatched opportunity to witness the wealth of clinical excellence and experience shared by the experts and upgrade themselves academically and professionally to meet the challenges in changing times. Today, as we move on to the 25th day of ProVision webinar series, at the outset, I consider it my privilege to extend a hearty welcome to our very eminent resource person, Professor Dr. Rajat Chattopadhyay, Principal, Calcutta Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, on behalf of the management, faculty members, and students of Father Muller Homeopathic Medical College. Sir will be sharing with us his experience on the utility of pocket manual of homeopathic Metria Medica in day-to-day practice by Dr. William Borick. I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Srinath Rao, Professor and HOD, Department of Homeopathic Metria Medica, Father Muller Homeopathic Medical College, Mangaluru, moderator for this session. A cordial welcome to our Administrator, Reverend Father Roshan Grasta, Principal Dr. Shivaprasad K, Vice Principal Dr. ESJ Prabhukiran, faculty members, and all the delegates attending webinar series. I request Dr. Srinath Rao to take over and introduce Dr. Rajat Chattopadhyay. Over to you, sir.
I hope I am audible. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you, and well said, Dr. Jolly. And I have the pleasant privilege of according a cordial welcome to our resource person of the day today, Dr. Rajat Chattopadhyay, Principal of Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, one of the oldest institutions in Asia. And Dr. Rajat Chattopadhyay is a PhD scholar and did his post-graduation from National Institute of Homeopathy in homeopathy. And he is having a rich experience of 25 years. And in his tenure, he has presented many national and international papers. And he has, to his credit, 3 textbooks as well. And one of them is on cardiology. He was earlier professor and head of the Department of Medicine Department, and thus possesses sound knowledge of medicine. And today he is rightly the resource person of webinar, and he is going to deliberate on textbook of pocket manual of Metria Medica and its utility in clinical practice. So without much ado, I accord a cordial welcome on my behalf, on behalf of Father Muller faculty and all the participants. Welcome to you, Dr. Rajat Chattopadhyay, and over to you for the deliberations.
Thank you. First of all, it's my proud privilege to be here, to be within the August gathering of all the faculties, respected principals, all the seniors, all the senior professionals, colleagues, students, and all other homeopathic lovers. So I should want to share my screen. So this is the Calcutta Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital. Rightly told that the oldest of the Asia, and it is the oldest one, also the Survival Institute among the world also. Previously, it was the second. Now it is the only survival institute, being the so old, established 1881. First of all, it is the to cure quickly, safely, and pleasantly. That is the curate Cito Tuto et Zucandi. You can remember our homeopathic philosophy. You can remember our organon of medicine. That different there are Latin words. So to cure quickly, safely, and pleasantly. It is the one book, that is the William Borwick's textbook of Materia Medica, that the today we should go through it. It is not the within 1 hour or 1 hour 10-15 minutes. It is not possible to go through all the huge voluminous books of William Borwick's. But what is the basic theme and what is the practical utility of the Borwick's Materia Medica, and what I have observed, I have seen, I have used in my 25 years practice, and also whatever I have observed in West Bengal or all over India about the all senior professionals, even our teachers, to use Borwick's Materia Medica in an artistic way, that I want to share with all of you. So we have in our hand the 9th edition of the Materia Medica, written by William Borwick, published in 1907. Again, I should take opportunity to use our philosophy just to describe the Borwick's Materia Medica. That is, please do not generalize, always individualize. You can see the Latin, never part or the whole. So always, being a homeopath, our tendency should be always to individualize, because individualization is the key thing in our homeopathic approach in clinical field. Whatever may be the our diagnosis, whatever may be the nosological tagging, but our what we should try always just to individualize. As per Borwick, this book contains the well-known, verified characteristic symptoms of all our medicines, besides other less important symptoms, aiding in the selection of the curative remedy, as per William Borwick. Again, all the new medicines and essentials of the published clinical experience of the school have been added. It is again a quotation of William Borwick, you can see. So you can get all the new medicines, whatever he told, that is as per 1907. Now, all the new medicines of the essential medicines, whichever Dr. Borwick, William Borwick told, that the all new medicines, now with the times, we have applied it. All the professions, all the homeopathic professions, they have already used it. So nowadays, we cannot say it all the new. It has been clinically verified. Even we know, we will show in the later slides 2, 4, or 6 drugs, which may not be clinically well proved, but clinically it is used, and the efficacy of that is established in our profession. He also suggested some of the rare medicines, and by their clinical proving, their use is increased, giving opportunity to clinically prove and confirm all the observations. But don't forget, we should follow the concept, the basic concept, the cardinal principles, and according to the art, secundum artem. Again, Borwick said, with the just he took the quotation of Herring, that I have Herring. It is the saying of William Borwick. I have Herring as a pioneer guide for the legitimacy of the method, which he also followed in his great work, The Guiding Symptoms. All of us are well known about the Herring's Guiding Symptoms. All of us are well known about the Allen's Keynote, the very, very useful book. Specifically in West Bengal, I can say that without Allen, we cannot think anything. The practice, it is you can get in every practitioner's table the Allen's Keynote, and you know the source of the Allen's Keynote, the Herring's Guiding Symptoms, whichever he picked up from those. And I can say you, that during my tenure at National Institute of Homeopathy, during my MD, even in my Schwarzschild College or the Calcutta Homeopathic Medical College, I have gone through these hearing guiding symptoms also, and we have observed that there are very many symptoms apart from the Allen's keynote. Still, there are very many symptomatology you can find in hearing guiding symptoms. Still, all these are very relevant now to the current scenario. Again, he said, as per William Borick, that he used the disease designations, diagnosis, terminology, nosology, not for the purpose of recommending the particular remedy for that disease, but to show the great variety of remedies, that may be used for any form of disease when otherwise indicated. It is not that the disease arteriosclerosis, the hypertension, the diabetes mellitus, whatever mentioned. And if you go through Borick's, all small remedies are there in which only pathological names are there. So what was his explanation? How wonderfully he said he is taking the name of Dr. Herring also. He said that he used the disease designations not for the purpose of recommending the particular remedy for that disease, but to show the great variety of remedies that may be used for any form of disease, just to build confidence, just to inculcate the confidence among the students, among the would-be doctors, among the very new homeopaths, even among the all professionals. So it's wonderful that now Borick is for the same reason I have included nosological terms in the symptomatology and therapeutic index. So Dr. Borick, William Borick, wonderfully explained with the he got the help from Dr. Herring, and he cited Herring's quotation, Herring's whatever Herring told, and William Borick just saying that I have also included the nosological terms on view of Dr. Herring. So this is a practical handbook. This means Borick's is a practical handbook for everyday service and any aid for finding the curative remedy ought to be utilized. Simultaneously, if they were in the right manner of style. It means as per homeopathic philosophy, whatever may be the pathological symptom, whatever may be the clinical symptom, whatever written in the book, but always think if they were in the right manner or style, without the philosophy, without the right attitude as from being a homeopath, we should not use Borick's Materia Medica. Again, Dr. William Borick said, I think that nosological tagging with symptoms make those books practical in hands of physician who has perceived homeopathic philosophy and art of prescribing. How wonderfully he concluded, how wonderfully he explained about his more and more use of nosological tagging. He never told that you go through this Materia Medica book without homeopathic philosophy. Always consider the homeopathic philosophy as the pioneer one. So myopic understanding of Materia Medica just makes the user a pathological prescriber. I'm not saying that pathological prescription is pathological prescriber are very bad or they are nothing. I'm just talking about the approach. I'm talking about the understanding of Borick's Materia Medica. So whatever written in Borick's Materia Medica in very small form, but we may think we just use it rationally with our justification of using those medicines. Those using homeopathic philosophy, only those can get maximum utility of these concise Materia Medica. So now I will show you the three types of the typical simile for searching through the similar principle. You can see the first one, the simple simile, the second one, the simple symptomatic simile mum, and third one, the pathologic simile mum, told by the Barnett. The first one, it should be like that punishing a crime with a like act. Just lex talionis, punishing a crime with a like act. So whatever the presentation, whatever the disease presentation, whatever you are finding, accordingly you choose within those three types. I will show you the examples. Like simple simile. It is a remedy based on full and consideration of homeopathic philosophy and considering person, that is the constitutional prescribing. So this is the we want for. This is the usual thing. That is the simple simile. A remedy based on full concept and consideration and as per homeopathic philosophy. So that should be constitutional prescribing, which is a very authentic one. Now the second one, simple symptomatic simile, a remedy based on some of the prominent or burning or distressing symptoms, just for making palliation. This is the simple symptomatic simile as per Barnett. And last one, the pathologic simile, prescribing on the basis of collection of symptoms with pathology, mostly in terminal stages or the terminal illness. These are the three parts. Now we should go directly to the practical utilities of Borick's Materia Medica book. And if we just use a flow chart, that is, first of all, we should perceive the case perceiving, taking the case. You know, the case taking is the unique part of our system. The exhaustive case taking we should take. And after the exhaustive case taking, simultaneously, there are we can get the double benefit. One benefit that we can get the totality, and second benefit that the doctor-patient relationship, the bonding develop. Whenever a doctor-patient relationship develop, a bonding develop, then the patient will trust you. Patient will tell very confidential one, which he or she may not utter to very close to one. Even she can or he can confess to a doctor. So this is the unique simultaneously counseling part start with our case taking part. So case perceiving is very important. Only asking the question and taking the replies and noting everything, it is not your case. You can make the totality very literally, but you have to perceive, you have to feel the patient, you have to make the bonding with the patient. Just by that, making that bonding, then you can reach to the inner side of the patient, and then you can get the portrait of the disease. So patient as a person and pathology or disease pathology, and ultimately we have to make the therapeutic index, the repertory index, and the integration. That was our in a nutshell. But first of all, very important part is case perceiving, patient as a person, and you should see the patient as a person with the pathology and the disease pathology is another part, and on the basis of that therapeutic index made. But within the therapeutic index also, we have to differentiate with the constitutional characteristics of the remedy. Even before the repertorial index, one part is missing here, that is the evolution of the symptom. Very important one. To which symptoms you should give more and more stress, which is the most important part. You know the evolution of the symptom with the mental symptom, with the physical symptoms. Among the physical symptoms, the physical general, the sexual symptoms are of utmost importance. Then the particular symptoms with the marked modality. So there are different scale of evolution of symptom. Ultimately, repertorial totality. Then the list of drugs within list of drugs with the consultation of the Materia Medica. These are our proper integration of one homeopathic approach. Now directly to one medicine, the first medicine, Aconite amnicotis. You know, from if I go through our Allen's keynote, the very wonderful one line of Allen's keynote, that is the congestive stage of inflammation before localization takes place. But here you can see in the Aconite, its sphere of action in the beginning, what is written in William Borick, its sphere is in the beginning of an acute disease, not to be continued after pathological change comes. Clear cut. Not like very strong enough for the first year that the congestive stage of inflammation before localization takes place. What should be the impression of a first year student of this line of Materia Medica of Allen's keynote, and what should be the impression of the student of first year or second year to this line of Borick? You can understand. So its sphere is in the beginning of an acute disease and not to be continued after pathological change comes. Complete. Is a very unique one. So there may be intracranial pressure high, there may be acute earache. It is used in hematemesis, even in choleric discharge with collapse, multiple events, but the suddenness, the exposure to wind, the violent form. These are the violent form, and with the anguish of mind. These are very important. There's a countenance is miserable fear with the bleeding hemorrhoids, retention of urine, blood comes up with hawking, purpura miliaris. You don't think aconite as only very superficial remedy. Don't think, because very severe form even come in very violent form. And whenever it comes in violent form, it may be the indications of aconitum napellus. I always say to our students that just read aconite from William Boric, just read aconite from Dunham Mitra Medica, then you can only judge the depth of the aconite. Don't take aconite as a very superficial drug, because why I have just intentionally I have put all these things only in the slides about aconite, just to understand you what is the depth of the drug, which can cause retention of urine, which can cause purpura miliaris, which can cause bleeding hemorrhoids, which can cause intracranial pressure increase, which can cause hematemesis. So these are very grave situations. And even in the very first stage, in the violency, we can think of aconitum napellus. This is very important. Now the next one, Abies canadensis. We have to go very fast because lot of drugs in boric. And if the time permits, if we only consider 5 or 6 drugs, then 1 hour is too little, because if we go through very details, I will try, because within 1 hour, to cover maximum drugs or few drugs, at least 40 to 50 drugs we should cover. Abies canadensis, whatever normal, I should not mention that one. It is all known to you. But what is important, the very basic pathology, the very basic things of Abies canadensis, that is the right lung and liver feel small and hard, very peculiar thinkings. Because the feelings of lung and liver feel small and hard, how he can feel hard? But it is the feeling, subjective feeling. It is not the objective feeling that by palpation you were feeling the hard. So Abies canadensis, maybe you know Abies canadensis is a very wonderful drug for related to peptic ulcer syndrome like that. But it is not only the gastric symptoms. You can see the right lung and liver feel small hard. This is very unique characteristic of Abies canadensis. Now I should go a very wonderful drug, that is abrotinib. It is this drug is also in the Allen Skinner, abrotinib. And all of you know abrotinib about the first thing, that is the metastasis. And if I am not wrong, this metastasis lines probably not written in most of the book. It is not written probably in directly in this manner, because this metastasis is written in the boric in italics. Whenever it is within the italics in borics, it is very important. And you know the first part of the boric, it is just like Clark's Mitra Medica, the first para. The first para before the head or mind, before the mind symptoms, the very first para of the boric can tell everything about the disease in a nutshell, from the sphere of action to the main sphere of action, to the main characteristic symptoms, everything you can get in the first para. So whatever written in the anatomical schema, there is, you can get few important within that, but the most important parts you will get in the first para. So how clear cut, like aconite, very clear cut written in the very first stage. And like abrotinib, clear-cut written metastasis. And ill effects of suppressed conditions, especially in gouty subject. This is the new thing, because in other books, it is mentioned that rheumatism suddenly appear by the suppressed diarrhea, or rheumatism alternate with diarrhea. So suddenly suppression of the diarrhea may cause rheumatism or anything others. That is the metastasis. It is not the metastasis always need to be for carcinoma type. It is your understanding of metastasis that one disease, one part suppress another. There is the basic difference of suppression and palliation, you know. So another thing develop. So ill effects of suppressed conditions, especially in gouty subjects. This is the abrotinib, where in gouty subjects is mentioned in William Boric. It is a very wonderful coverage of abrotinib. And nosebleed and hydrocele in boys, because for hydrocele it is not mentioned in Allen's keynote or very many books, but it is mentioned. And we know that abrotinib we always use. I have also seen to our teachers, and I also use only 30 potency. I have found very useful. It is in 30 potency. In most of the cases, it is not that I am not telling that 200 or 1 ml not be used, but abrotinib 30 in most of the cases it is very safe, and is a very unique one from which I got result in the hydrocele. Even in the boys, hydrocele It's very wonderful drug. So think of abrotenum when anything suppressed conditions, especially in gouty subjects, that rheumatism occurring from any suppression. We know abrotenum has got very wonderful sphere of action on the lungs also. It can cause pleuritis. It can cause the pleural effusion. Even after the pleural effusion, when the stitching pain remain, it's a very wonderful remedy that is abrotenum. Also, it is written in another Allen's book, that is after aconite or after any drug, whenever the stitching pain remain after the pleurisy. But abrotenum itself can produce the pleural effusion. Abrotenum sphere of action on the lung is also there. So, but if you want to know abrotenum, the metastasis in a very nutshell and the bad effect, the suppression of in gouty subjects, very important one. Acalypha indica is very well known for hemorrhage. Acalypha indica is very well known for its hemorrhage with the difference of the morning and night, but it is also very much we have used in spluttering diarrhea. The spluttering diarrhea means we always think of calcarea phos or gratiola like a drug. But the spluttering diarrhea with forcible expulsion of noisy flatus in tubercular diathesis patient, we can think of Acalypha indica, and in this case we use 30 or 200 potency. But whenever it is from hemorrhagic part, Acalypha indica always we use in very 6 or lower potency. It's a very useful drug. Alstonia scholaris. Alstonia scholaris, very wonderful. That is the diarrhea from bad water and malaria. It's a very small drugs in borics, which is very specific. Alstonia scholaris we have used. It is written that diarrhea from bad water, diarrhea from malaria, because you know Calcutta is the zone of malaria. You can see right now it is the falciparum malaria. South Calcutta is the like endemic. South anyone you can ask having the history of falciparum malaria in his family, at least one family member of South Calcutta having the history of falciparum malaria. Just 10 years back, it was the North Calcutta area that was the malaria was endemic, like that. So there, diarrhea from malaria, it's very important one. So Alstonia scholaris we can think of. Anagales arvensis. It is well-known name in the skin disorder, Anagales. Itching, dry, brand-like eruption, especially on hands and fingers, palms specially affected, vesicles in groups, ulcers and swelling on joints. And also it favors expulsion of splinters. It is not only Silesia, it also favors expulsion of splinters. And what is important here, you just look here, possesses power of softening flesh and destroying words. Usually we use Anagales for the palmar eczema. We use two wonderful drugs if the symptoms are there, the typical itching, the typical dry itching, dry eczema, brand-like eruption, and the very palmar eczema, the Anagales, and usually we use in very low potency. Usually we use in 6. Also, as per Boric, it is the best use in 6. In most of the in borics, which you can get the lower potency, the characteristic mentioned by William Boric. But also in West Bengal, in Kolkata, we have used in our past stalwarts. It is not common nowadays, or even 30 years, 20 years back. But I am talking about 50 years back, like when we were in our infancy. At that time, when we have gone through the articles, we have gone through the Hahnemanian gleanings and all through from Dr. Kanjilal and all other J.N. Mojumdar. If you see, even Dr. B.K. Bose, they are very much fond of 30 potency, like Bacillina 30 potency, Lachesis 30 potency, Mark Cyanotus 30 potency. Right now, even these potencies are now not common to use, but we have used. Even if you go through the literature review, literature research, you can get it. The use of the nosors in 30 potency, and they have got the maximum effect from the 30 potency. Even in the boric few, like Lachesis, few other drugs, it is written. So Anagales, we got result from lower potencies, because Anagales in higher potencies may cause aggravations. We have seen at our Mahesh Bhattacharya OPD, when I was at Mahesh Bhattacharya Homeopathic Medical College, we have seen 1 or 2 cases very so much aggravation by the Anagales higher potency. But the Anagales the patient was cured by Anagales, but the higher potency caused severe aggravation. But the another factor of Anagales that it can favor the expulsion of splints. So remember Anagales for palmar eczema with typical dry brand-like eruption on hands itching too much. Ammonium muriaticum. Its periods of aggravations are peculiarly divided as to bodily region affected. Very important one. You can see head and chest symptoms in the morning, abdominal symptoms in the afternoon, pains in limbs, skin, and febrile symptoms in the evening. So is it not very uncommon like? In one drug, you can see the different type of modalities, the aggravations as per the region of the body, head and chest symptom, morning, abdominal symptom, afternoon, and other pain in limbs, skin, and febrile symptoms in the evening. So it's a very unique characteristic of Ammonium muriaticum. Argemone mexicana. I should mention this drug because these drugs, sorry, I should mention this drug. You should use also Argemone mexicana. I should, because I have used in my 3 or 4 cases, and I have observed these cases at National Institute of Homeopathy OPD and even at our state government college OPD. We have got tremendous good result, particularly in the rheumatic diseases associated with kidney affection, renal affection, chronic kidney disease. I'm not talking chronic renal failure, CRF, but the chronic kidney disease. Even the it is in the very preliminary stage. I can say I have gone through 2 cases when protein leaking nephropathy was there, and patient more than 5 years, 6 years, very little diabetic, protein leaking nephropathy, and there are tremendous rheumatism. And patient got first good result from Argemone mexicana. Wonderful drug. So just remember, rheumatic disease associated with Bright's disease in William Borwick's book, within bracket is the D. McFarland, is a symptoms confirmed. And which one is the first one? That is the painful neuromuscular conditions. Pain, patient will complain of pain. Patient will not tell you that the neuromuscular junction, but painful neuromuscular conditions preventing sleep. And left side aggravation, left knee stiff and painful, feet swollen. And modalities, words at noon, too much. What's at noon? What? Weakness, too much weakness at the noon. These may be the subjective symptoms told by the patient, but this is the unique characteristic symptom of the Argemone mexicana. Whenever patient will be complaining of pain and complaining of weakness and so much frustration, aggravation in the noon, at noon, this is unique combination. You can use that as concomitant of the pain symptom, as other concomitant of the pain symptom with the rheumatic disease. So rheumatic disease affected with the renal disease, and the aggravation, the weakness, words at noon, the very wonderful combination of Argemone mexicana. Aristolochia, you have already gone through it, or most of you are very well known to you. Aristolochia milhomens, but I should say that this drug is very much abused for the flatulence in stomach and abdomen. It's a very wonderful thing, but I should say, because I got result from this, I have used not too much. I have used very little, and I have seen more than 10 to 15 cases I have seen it is acted on the painful heels. You know, right now today, in the scenario, you can get the female, especially the females, the obese female, even common in male, but more common in female, with the pain in heels. That pain in heels may be due to osteoarthritis, first symptom, maybe the alarming sign of rheumatoid arthritis, preliminary, like that is a just very preliminary symptom. It may be our seronegative spondyloarthropathy, like that, but mostly it is due to osteoarthritis, or maybe due to your shoes. It is related to wearing shoes. So plantar fasciitis, like that. But it is very much related to obesity also. It is very much related to hyperuricemia also. So you can see the 4 or 5 symptoms of heels: pain in heels, burning in anus and frequent irritation, pain in back and extremities, pain in tendo Achilles, itching and swelling around the malleoli, means malleolus, both malleoli, itching and swelling around the lateral or medial malleolus. So everything related to that lower part, with the heel, with the tendo Achilles, with the itching, swelling, and the concomitant symptom, flatulence in stomach and abdomen, Aristolochia you can use. But I have seen I have seen prescribing many of our homeopaths just to use Aristolochia 6 or lower potency in flatulence in stomach. But I should say you use these flatulence in stomach as a concomitant with the pain in hips or rheumatism. You can use it. I am very loosely, I am talking about the concomitant. I am not in true sense talking about the concomitants. Arnica montana, it's a very well-known drug. Everything is known to you, but should be also used in acne indurata, characterized by symmetrical distribution. You know, Arnica, about the syphilitic manifestations, about its very much offensiveness, about its gouty pain, fearfulness, about the being struck by the persons coming near to him, approaching near to him. These are all symptoms of Arnica. Is a very good drug, very good antisyphilitic drug, very good drug with the euphoria state of CVA. You know, the stroke syndrome of the even in the reversible ischemic neurological symptoms like that, you know, the stroke with the TIA or RIND or stroke in evolutions. Even the patient with the Arnica can say euphoria. Whenever you ask anything, he or she will say, oh, okay, I am fine. So these are the all symptoms can be produced by Arnica. The apoplexy symptoms can be produced by Arnica, but without the antisyphilitic manifestations, without the characteristics of Arnica with the offensiveness, with the soreness of the bed, with the delirium, you can't prescribe Arnica or the history of injury in any form, even the mechanical, even in the dynamic form. But we should consider also the acne with the characterized by symmetry in distribution. We can think of Arnica montana also. Asafoetida, wonderful drug because it is my one of the weapon. You know, Bengals, the Bengal, whatever in the OPDs and whatever patient I have been observing since 1995. Now it is 25 years. And you know, the Mahesh Bhatt College OPD is very plenty of patient. The Calcutta Homeopathic Medical College, lot of patient. Even during my NIH MD tenure, lot of patients. So we have to go through very thousands of patients in the OPDs, and the most of the patients will be complaining of your peptic ulcer syndrome like that, about the flatulency, about the indigestion, about the anorexia, and the arthritis. Only these are the things. Even during our internship period, housekeeping period, even during MD internship period, we usually say that please, any other symptom, any new case, because most of the patients having the iron deficiency anemia and having the iron deficiency anemia, very commonly they have got some these type of symptoms, whatever may be that. But asafoetida is a very wonderful drug because the flatulence and spasmodic contraction of stomach and esophagus, I must say this one, that the reverse peristalsis are the most marked symptoms. You know, reverse peristalsis. Reverse peristalsis, even it is a very good drug of historical. You can see the second one in its selection, its relation to the historical and hypochondriacal patient. We know about the hypochondriacal patients. Patients talks more, much more irrelevant word must be borne in mind. So definitely this asafoetida must be used in the historical thinking, in the historical flatulence, etc. But it can cause reverse peristalsis. The reverse peristalsis is the condition in which you can get it, the mostly psychosomatic disorders. You can get these reverse peristalsis under stress. Patient is in severe under stress. Patient, whatever patient is not, patient is totally, I can say, it is maltreated or adaptation, maladaptation. So whenever in the society, in a service sector or in academic sector, academic field or in research field or whatever field, in his work, in her work field, if he or she can't adapt, the totally maladaptation is there. So he cannot adapt anything. So it is obvious that he cannot, or he or she cannot eat anything. So the reverse peristalsis, just to vomit the everything, because I can't adopt, so I can vomit. The same thing can be reflected in the physically, and in the form of physical and mental, the psychosomatic disorders, you can find the asafoetida. You can find the asafoetida, and it is, you know, argentum nitricum with the loud eructation, very big eructation, and you know also argentum nitricum with the apprehensiveness. You know the carbonitrogenate constitution with the anxiety, sudden something will happen, like argentum nitricum. The typical apprehension may not be found in asafoetida, but You may not find the touch pain and the eructation like borax. You may not find it, but asafoetida, you should think that it has got also, it can be producer of reverse peristalsis, which can show the depth of the drug. So it has been found to, that's why if you go through the third point, it has been found to affect favorably deep ulceration. This is the other part of asafoetida. Deep ulceration, caries of bones, especially in the syphilitic organisms. Here the extreme, the syphilis, this is the extreme sensitiveness, the arnica sensitiveness, gout, fear of being struck by person, extreme sensitiveness, extreme Kali iode, the typical pain, so much pain, but no touch. Please don't touch me. And the pain aggravate. So the because all these are syphilitic, and syphilitic patients are very, very sensitive, and terrible throbbing, nightly pains guiding to its use. So there are the characteristic symptoms. Night aggravations, nightly pains, typical sensitivity with the reverse peristaltic type or hysterical flatulence. So these are our asafoetida. So don't make it mix with argentum nitricum, where typically the psychotic portion is much, much more in comparison to asafoetida. Here you can get more and more soric type, the nervous type, the soric manifestation with the syphilis. Psoriasis syphilis is much more in asafoetida, as because whenever you can get the predominant syphilitic part, then the ulceration part you can get. Whenever you will get the soric manifestation, then the psychosomatic manifestation of this flatulence you can get. So this is our asafoetida. Now the very wonderful drug, but that is aurum muriaticum natronatum. Aurum murnat, very is usually we say aurum murnat. It has more power over uterine. We know that is over uterine tumors than any other. Why I have put it here? Because it is told by Barnett how confidence. Barnett is a more or less specific type of. Barnett made its own clinical research. He made its own. He made pulsatilla for tuberculosis in his own research field, in his own practice, clinical own practice. He made Baraita iode for tonsillitis for the hot children, Baraita carb for the mentally dwarf. He made the vaccinosis. I recommend all my students to go through the small books of Barnett. It is very good to go through the small books of Barnett, the thinking of Barnett, because more or less with his clinical practice, he developed at that time a type of research attitude. You can get it. Many things of Barnett's may not be proved as per homeopathic philosophy. We not recommend to our student. But what was his approach? What thinking was his? So Barnett, how bold was he at that time that openly he told that more power over uterine tumors of this aurum murnat than any other remedy. High blood pressure due to disturbed function of nervous mechanism. This is another part. Even if you go through our Clark's Mathematica, you can get the aurum murnat as uterine tumor. It is a wonderful drug. It is clinically proved drug, and it is never recommended in higher potency. It is always recommended in lower potency, even in the 3x. We have used it 3x, but I got its good result also from 30 potency in very many cases. Basilinum. It is not a very new drug to you. It is a very, very old drug. I can say very abused drug also. Because whenever history of any tuberculosis or anything susceptible to cold, we think of basilinum. Whenever anything ringworm or tuberculosis, we think of basilinum. What is important, it's written in Borix, it is in the italics that the patient expectorates lace. Also, it was written in another part. I should continue with 2 or 3 slides we have of basilinum. You can see that it is written that whenever there is bronchitis, there is with the shortness of breath, the dyspnea, and the mucus expectoration, everything is there. But repeatedly said, the patient expectorates less, but it is written humid asthma. Whenever it is written humid asthma, it is a very old word. Humid means, what does it signify? It just means just that it is with the rales, with the crepitations, with the not the dry, not the rhonchi only. It is with the humid asthma. So but the patient expectorates less. And how wonderful line is, many forms of chronic non-tubercular, many forms of chronic non-tubercular disease are influenced favorably by Bacillinum, especially when bronchuria and dyspnea are present. Now, one part is saying the patient expectorates less. The another part of the same book is telling bronchuria and shortness of breath, dyspnea are present. But what is important here, that many forms of chronic disease. So the sphere of action of Bacillinum, it is not only limited to susceptibility to cold and the tubercular diathesis. Many chronic non-tubercular disease you can prescribe Bacillinum on the basis of its characteristic symptom. This is very important. And it is written in the books that it is very identical to the tuberculinum. Both are useful in the tubercular diathesis, but before thiasis has developed, before tuberculosis developed. And in the early stages of tubercular disease of glands, joints, skins, and bones, I must mention here about the glands in the lymphadenopathy, in the idiopathic lymphadenopathy with the tubercular diathesis, with the obesity, with the typical cold, clammy sweat, you can think of calcarea carb. I have never failed with the calcarea carb using in this type of tubercular glandular swelling with the calcarea carb characteristic. And I should mention here about the Cyclopedia of drug pathogenesis or pharmacodynamics of Richard Hughes about this in the calcarea carb in the lymphadenopathy. Sorinum seems to be its chronic equivalent. So can you imagine the Sorinum with the Bacillinum? Chronic equivalent. So Sorinum is very well known for its soric, antisoric, but with syphilitic predominancy is there with the Sorinum, with its offensiveness, with its quinsy. You know Sorinum, everything, all the fieldy things. So the predominant syphilitic part is there in the Sorinum. And this Sorinum, maybe it's not maybe, it seems to be chronic equivalent. And in very small things, it is, we ignored this line, but how wonderful this line, the Bacillinum testium, you just use it. I have used it in very many cases, more than 100 cases I have used it, and also in OPDs. My students, they are well known about this drug, the Bacillinum testium, especially on lower half of the body. You just use the constitution of the Bacillinum, and whenever that acts, especially I have used it in many eczema cases on the lower half of the bodies, or the identical two halves, similar that two halves eczema with the Bacillinum like constitution. I have used Bacillinum testium. It's a Hahnemann Publishing Co. Usually is till date it is available. I know it may be available in other pharmaceutical company also, but it is available in our Hahnemann Publishing Co. and we have used it with a very good result. You just use it, but you just remember one thing, because nothing is written in other only, that is the act specially on lower half of the body, and I have observed it in very eczematous condition on the lower half of the body. It is very wonderful drug of Bacillinum testium. Bacillinum should not be given below the 30th. It is the recommendation of William Borick, and not repeated frequently. So 30 potency advised minimum, and 1 dose a week often sufficient to bring about reaction. Just to initiate the reaction, 1 dose weekly. It is rapid in action and good results ought to be seen. And if you are getting no result, no need of repetition. It is not acting. Don't repeat. If it is acting, it will show its reaction with very shortly. It is not like your Lycopodium 60 days time. It is your Bacillinum. Within 7 days to 10 days, you will be getting result. Don't repeat it if it is not showing reaction. It's a very wonderful recommendation from the dose part of William Borick. Another drug, Balsamum peru. It is also a drug very often used, also abused, useful in bronchial catarrh. It is well known to you with copious purulent expectoration, debility, hectic fever. But I should recommend one thing. You should go through the underlines. Loud rulse. Rulse is very old terminology, you know, the crackles, fine crackles, coarse crackles. nowadays. The previously it was the moist sound, the rals, the loud rals in chest. Within bracket Calisulf and Timtat, we know Antimtat, we know Calisulf, we know the rattling chest. So the same rattling, the wonderful that is you can use Balsamum Peru, the bronchitis and phthisis, but without tubercular diathesis, you don't think Balsamum Peru. Whenever you are observing any patient with bronchitis with so much rattling and Antimtat like weakness is not there, and he is not child, so it is your aged patient, and you are thinking that as because it is aged patient, so we should try Balsamum Peru, not Antimtat, but you just go through whether the tubercular diathesis is there or not. Without the tubercular diathesis, it will not work. That's why hectic fever, night sweats, these are all symptoms you know of tuberculosis. My thesis at MD, my thesis at PhD was rheumatoid arthritis, something different. It was my PhD tenure with what I say, it is not my clinical research, it is the fundamental research with the IIEST. So the engineering works with all everything. But what was my post-graduation dissertation at National Institute of Homeopathy? That was the changing pattern of disease, and you will be astonished to know that whatever is written in the tubercular diathesis and in the tubercular miasm, so-called, or pseudosora, all these were written in the disease tuberculosis. I have the first edition of Harrison, the first edition of Davidson, even all the old books, the very good big books of practice of medicine. I have the first edition, second edition, the old editions, just to know the changing pattern, how the disease pattern change, and the big eyelashes, the typical odor of the tuberculosis patient, everything written in the tuberculosis disease in practice of medicine books I have got. So the Balsamum Peru, the tubercular diathesis, you have to go through. Without that, we should not use Balsamum Peru. But if the patient having tubercular diathesis with this type of rattling chest, better and useful in old aged patient, very wonderful drug in low potency. Bovista, full name Bovista lycoperdon. You know Bovista. Bovista is very well known female drug also. It is the ammonite carbon Bovista, the cholera-like symptoms with the menstruation, etc., etc. But what is important here, we most of the time overlook that, and it is not written in Allen's book also, that cannot wear tight clothing around waist. It is also in the lachesis. And in between menstruation, traces of menses between menstruation. So menstruation continues. It is not like cyclic or ergot. That is the just watery like menstruation blood, very thin type patient. Is a cyclic or different. It is the traces of menstruation between menstruation. And how wonderful two parts of Bovista. One is well known, another is not known. That is the colic with red urine, and colic relieved by eating. And during colic must bend double and pain around umbilicus. So it is a very useful drug also for children. It is very useful drug also for flatulent colic, which is not only seen in colocynth, which is not only seen in Macphos, which is also seen in Bovista. That is a bending double cause amelioration, eating cause amelioration, colic with red urine like lycopodium. You know colic with red urine, you know colic with white gravel, sarsaparilla. Articaria on excitement. We are very well known about the articaria on exercise, about the natrum meru. We know the causation of the articaria with the hypersensitivity reaction. We know the articaria, it's the allergic reaction, hypersensitivity reaction. So there are extrinsic cause, intrinsic cause for the outside sources with the intrinsic causes. So articaria on excitement, it may be a cause of Bovista. And with that, the concomitant symptom, rheumatic lameness, palpitation, and diarrhea. This is the symptom, these are the symptom complex. I can say this is a syndrome like, this can be seen also in Dulcamara. What is important there, these three, during proving, it is in the same patient. So you can see the articaria on excitement, you can see in that same patient with rheumatic lameness, palpitation, and diarrhea. Very important one, which is common to Dulcamara. It is you cannot get this. So itself, these pathological symptoms, but itself, whenever it is these 3 or 4 symptomatology produced in one patient at a time, it may become very uncommon to us, just to indicate only one drug, that is Bovista. You know, the typical itching of the Bovista, the typically the tip of the coccyx, the typical itching, the typical impression of using instrument Bovista. These are all here. But I have not mentioned this because it is well known to you. And you know the pellagra, the 3D, the pellagra, the symptoms of the pellagra, the Bovista has got the capability to produce the symptomatology of pellagra. So it's a wonderful drug. Briarnia is very well-known drug for respiratory, and right now during the COVID situation and whatever is going on, the very warm days, specifically in West Bengal and also Kerala and in all these areas, the very warm weather with the wet, the rain, this type of, whenever it is no rain, then the climate of Briarnia, very, very hot weather. And then again, the cold will come. So the season is coming, the winter is coming, approaching. This is the typical time of Briarnia, and Briarnia alba, all the respiratory symptoms we know of Briarnia alba, everything. But Briarnia alba is very wonderful drug for peptic ulcer syndrome also. So specifically the fainting, the vomiting, the biliary vomiting, the Wart's worm rings which are vomited. Wart's worm ring, it can remember you about the phosphorus, about the cold rings, whenever that cold worm, that means vomiting. So stomach sensitive touch. The most important part within this is the number one, there's the last part, that the pressure in stomach after eating as of a stone. In the epigastric region, the same typical, this stone feeling in the pit of the stomach is the wonderful in Briarnia alba. A discomfort feeling after 30 minutes, 40 minutes sitting, that can be felt in Nux vomica, but the typical stone-like at the pit of the stomach, it is the typical only characteristic of Briarnia alba. So we should not forget Briarnia for its gastric part. It is very much used in chest and respiratory problem, but we should not forget it. That's why I have put it the Briarnia, because the time of Briarnia is right now is very much, it is practicing by the homeopaths. Cadmium salt, usually we use cadmium salt in excessive vomiting, and I can say only in one word, that helps, there is a red line, helps the persistent vomiting. And specifically this type of vomiting can be seen in CS stomach. You know the CS stomach, the Sister Mary Joseph nodules, the typical CS stomach patient, the hematemesis, the melena, severe vomiting. And also it is very much efficacious because we have our very good relation with few oncologists, and they, whenever the patients after chemotherapy, the typical tremendous severe form of vomiting, incessant vomiting, it cannot be just vomiting and vomiting. So you use cadmium salt. I use it is in 6 potency and I got result in low potency. Also in boric, it is mentioned in 6 potency. Cadmium salt, just not only for CS stomach, even if the vomiting is very pernicious vomiting, malignant type of vomiting, you have to at that time, just to prevent, just to stop the persistent vomiting, use cadmium salt. But it has been used even by the oncologist right now for the bad effects of chemotherapy. After chemotherapy, when maximum vomiting is there, cadmium salt 6 in repeated doses, it is very give you good result. It will give you very good result. Carcinosin. I have seen Dr. B.N. Chakraborty at his chamber to prescribe in his older age. I have seen to prescribe carcinosin in very many cases in the established cancer, and you can go through the lines. It is claimed that carcinosin acts favorably and modifies all cases in which either a history of carcinoma can be elicited or symptoms of the disease itself exist. Symptoms of the disease itself exist. Carcinoma can act favorably. So I know our teachers, also we have gone through the books, it is told that you just go through the history of cancer, the family history of cancer. If you got it, you think of constitutionally. By the active stage, you should not give it. But This is the line written in William Borick. Dose 30 and 200 potency. And what is important here, he mentioned like Naxomic at the night or evening, a dose at night or less frequently. No one give it frequently, but a dose at night or less frequently. It is recommended by William Borick. Calcarea picrata, recurring or chronic boils, particularly when located on parts thinly, that means periosteum, when located on parts thinly covered with muscle tissue. There are very, very less muscle, very bone periosteum, very muscle tissue, very thin. At that place, chronic boils one after another. You can think of Calcarea picrata. These are the indications. And scurfy, accumulation and exfoliation of epithetic scales. Also the exfoliation, scaling exfoliation. This is very important one, the scurfy accumulation and also exfoliation. So Calcarea picrata in the places where muscular tissue is it is not on the muscular part, it is a very thin muscular layer, and with the excoriation of the epithelial scales, Calcarea picrata, I use it in 30 potence. 30 is very useful potence. Chaparro amargoso. It is our another weapon in chronic diarrhea. But I never used it in without indications. Whenever there is tenderness of a liver and the patient having with the pain like allosocotrina, but allosocotrina is much more pain, too much pain, has to go to closet, very, very violent form has to go to closet, and with the stool diarrhea with hunger, too much is hungry, like allosoc. These are all allosocs with the venous part predominant, all the symptoms related to venous congestion of allosoc. But Chaparro, when without any cause the chronic diarrhea, it may be the malabsorption syndrome of chronic diarrhea. It may be due to amoebic typhlitis. It may be due to dysentery when pain is there. It may be due to amoebic typhlitis. So it acts as a chronic. It is more or less specific, but clinically it has been used and it is a very good result it gives in Chaparro. In chronic diarrhea, I should mention in chronic diarrhea, you never forget phosphorus about the chronic diarrhea, which is written in the Allen's relation part, that in the old age it is very often it is used. So I should remember you that there are in chronic diarrhea also, as a man of clinical medicine also, we have to know the practice of medicine. Why diarrhea is happening? You have to remember that diarrhea can happen only due to simple diarrhea form, that the simple diarrhea, but it may be due to malabsorption syndrome. It may be due to anxiety neurosis. It may be due to amoebic typhlitis. It may be due to acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS, chronic diarrhea. It also may be due to intestinal tuberculosis. And accordingly, we have also, if you go through the oleander drug, if you go through the very constitutional symptoms of oleander from very good books, you can get the tubercular diathesis of oleander. So in oleander, they produce the diarrhea of intestinal tuberculosis like oleander. In phosphorus also, you can get this. But always we will never go through this classification of modern medicine like I can say their disease classification without the man. We always individualize the man in the disease. We should not individualize the disease without man. So with the man in the disease. So the phosphorus patient, if he is giving you the symptoms of chronic diarrhea, if the patient is of tubercular diathesis like phosphorus, stoop-shouldered, very delicate, intelligent person, like diffusing capacity, the phosphorus, he can invert the diffusing capacity of phosphorus, then we should give it. If it is the cause, there is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS, that also may be halted at that time if the patient is of phosphorus. So never think of diagnosis, the big name AIDS, it will never, what does it mean? So homeopathy medicine will not act. If the patient is giving you indications, the clues, so that case will be cured. At least 3 physical and mental symptoms we require, the characteristic symptoms. Another one, very specifically drug, very specific drug, not constitutional drug, I must say, that is the crass or venom. And it is, I used it in 3x potency, but also it is used for external application. and with the eczema with severe itching, just to prevent itching, violent itching. In the eczema with violent itching, which can cause secondary infection. The Crass-Orbinum in the 3x or 6x potency is with the, you can get the smell of Meserium in the Crass-Orbinum. The vesicular or squamous lesions associated with foul smelling discharge and crust formation, violent itching, thighs, legs, ears, even the dry scaly eruption, especially around eyes, ears, scabs with pus underneath. Everything, it looks like Meserium. Meserium, you can't use it in external application. You can use it, Crass-Orbinum, in external as external application. In 3x or 6x potency, you can use it. But I should mention, there is differentiation with the Meserium, because whenever you are giving Crass-Orbinum with for the violent itching, but in the Meserium, you will get always the lymphadenopathy with the, if there is a head eczema, with the eruption, with the crusting, with the pus underneath, but also the lymph gland swelling is a very good indication of Meserium. You cannot get it in Crass-Orbinum. So whenever you will be finding eczema or in the upper part, head or neck part eczema, and with the lymphadenopathy, never think of any other drug than Meserium. A very wonderful drug, very wonderful drug. Meserium. Meserium is for the bad effect of vaccination, you know, very wonderfully. It is mentioned in Allen's keynote also, where we have to give Thuja, where we have to give Cilicia, where we have to give to Antimtat, where we have to give the Meserium. All are the drugs of bad effect of vaccination. It is wonderfully written under Antimtat. You can get it in the Allen's textbook. But another drug is here in the boric. I will, in the latter part, the slide is there. That is the Torula. Torula is also wonderful drug for the bad effects of not only the vaccination, even all the vaccination, also the other vaccines, the pneumonia vaccines, all the other vaccines, lot of antigen is introduced to the body. The Torula is the wonderful drug. You can get it in William Borix. I have the slide also of Torula. This drug, I have no idea about these drugs, Centuries Contortrix, but you know the name of Dr. S.K. Dubey. He was a teacher of Calcutta Homeopathic Medical College. I was not direct student of Dr. S.K. Dubey, but I have gone through his books also. I have seen his lectures. Even I feel honored. I feel proud that I shared also thrice with him the same dais, and where he delivered lecture on Metriomedic and I delivered lecture on practice of medicine. But I just came to know this drug from Dr. S.K. Dubey. He told me, whenever you are in between arsenic, you are thinking of arsenic, but the arsenic is not doing well, and Blata orientalis is not giving any importance, or Blata orientalis, no characteristic is there. Better to give just for the shortness of breath, just to check the dyspnea, the Centuries Contortrix in 6 potency. Always Dr. Dubey, I have seen to, also he told me that I have used only in 6 potency. Like arsenic, it has dyspnea, mental and physical restlessness, thirst for small quantities of water, necessity for having clothing loose like lachesis, marked alteration of moods, also vivid dreams, wonderful restorative and deep acting remedy, increased sexual desire in both sexes. Dose 6 potency is written in William Borix, Metriomedica book. So it's the increased sexual desire in both sexes, very important. I can remember another drug, Cantharis with the increased sexual desire in both sexes, and this Centuries Contortrix. So this is the concomitant, that is the increased sexual desire, and with the respiratory part of the dyspnea. But I cannot forget the advice of Dr. Dubey, that always use Centuries Contortrix when you are not getting result arsenic, and it is in between arsenic and Blata orientalis, and during the rainy season, it is the wonderful drug. You can remember the rainy season is the ideal time for the snacks, and you can use this. It's a wonderful drug in between arsenic and lachesis. It is written in the book, but as per my personal, I can say, experience from Dr. Dubey, that is a arsenic and Blata, whenever it fails or in between your arsenic and Blata, you use Centuries Contortrix in 6 potency repeated doses. Another drug, that is the Concolin. It is a diaphysis of bone affected parts extremely sensitive to touch. It is the small drugs, but only concentrate on these, the sensitive bones and diaphysis of bone affected. It is a very important one. Chimaphila umbellata, very important one, the Chimaphila umbellata. women with dysuria, women with large breast and tumor in the mammary gland, unable to urinate without standing with feet. This is very common in women. You can see that unable to urinate without standing with feet wide apart and body inclined forward. The very typical posture you can see in the rural areas. In the rural areas, and wherever is used in very damp, cold basements like calcareous carbonate from sulfate, etc., the position you can get also in Chimaphila umbellata. It's a very wonderful drug, very wonderful drug. So the very big thing, big breast, big tumor in the mammary gland with dysuria and leg apart, standing urination. These are the all indications of Chimaphila. Always use Chimaphila in lower potency. Cholesteridum, it is as per Borik's book, gallstone and insomnia, obstinate hepatic engorgements. But in my personal, I have very less experience on cholesteridum use in gallstone. I have most experienced in constitutional remedies like lycopodium, like even our chelidonium, and definitely China. Whatever I have got good result in most of the cases of cholecystitis, acalculous or calculous cholecystitis, in most of the cases, China gave a very good result in potency. Conium maculatum. You know Conium maculatum is the old bacillus, like everything in Conium maculatum. The cancerous diathesis is openly written in the Borik's book. So whenever it is specifically even in the brain as well, on closing eyes he sweats, or the tremulous weakness after every stool. These are there are very many constitutional symptoms you will get of conium, from the leukorrhea 10 days after menses, or the closing eyes he sweats, or the vertigo, the severe vertigo of the conium, or the night cough, even the pregnancy cough. Conium mac is very good for the cough during pregnancy, after cough aggravated lying down and in pregnancy period. Conium, even the as well. Cancerous, why I put this slide here? Because the very wonderful line written in Borik, there is a cancerous diathesis. Bas, khatam. In conium mac, you can get cancerous diathesis. Very wonderful. So think of conium with the cancerous diathesis. Other constitutional symptoms are there. Conium with the old bacillus. General feeling as if bruised by blows, these are the conium, and sexual desire increased, power decreased, unready conception. These are few other characteristics of conium. I should mention that it is not very important drug, so I should skip this one. This is a Ceridim. I should discuss with this Ceridim, because very small drug. You can get it in Clark's Metromedica also, enlarged gland, cancer of breast, but worms. This is the wonderful in Borik's Metromedica about the worms of Ceridim. It denotes that the cancerous diathesis always indicate the worms, specifically pinworms, we may say. The worm diathesis, that is the worm manifestation, so much worm, the pinworms, even up to the, it is common to the child, but it is common to the 50 years of age, 60 years of age. The worm manifestation of pinworm, it denotes your cancerous diathesis. That's why it is in Ceridim. That's why you can see it is in Spigelia also. Spigelia, very good drug for our sigmoid colon cancer, for rectum CA. Carcinoma of rectum, very good drug of Spigelia. Ceridim, cancerous drug, cancerous diathesis, and you can get the worms. So the pinworm diathesis, the Enterobius vermicularis or pinworm, or the other typical worms, so much worm throughout it is not only childhood, throughout the adult, even up to the age of 60, it denotes cancerous diathesis. Very important one. Cuprum metallicum, very well-known drug, chorea brought on by fright, nausea greater than any other remedy. These are very common drug, So Cuprum metallicum, I should not discuss, but this one is good. Elaterium, urticaria and mental disorders coming on as a consequence of suppressed malaria. So I told about you the suppressed malaria, the bad diarrhea from suppressed malaria. And this is one elaterium. This is the urticaria mental disorders coming from suppressed malaria. Very epiphagus, unusual drug, unusual excitement at work, words by exertion, shopping, etc. So unusual excitement at work itself, it is uncommon symptom. Epiphagus, words by exertion, shopping, etc. Formica rufa, very abused in mother tincture for rheumatic pain, but use it in potency, use it in 6 potency, use it in 30 potency. Arthritic medicine, gout and articular rheumatism, right side most affected, very acute pain of gout, but which is important characteristic here that you can remember capsicum. Rheumatism comes on with suddenness and restlessness. Suddenness and restlessness has a marked deterrent influence on the formation of polyp. Formica rufa, you can say it concomitant. The polyp formation it can cure polyp also, and polyp is also common to rheumatism with rheumatism in Formica rufa. Gentinia lutea, the stomach symptom marks, acts as a tonic, increasing appetite. You know, it is also very much abused in mother tincture form just to increase appetite, but always it give it in potentized form. It is better it works in potentization. Jalapa, cures and just reverse of lycopodium. The child is good all day, but scream and is restless and troublesome at night. Caliards, just like our palmar eczema, I was telling about the drug. So Caliard silicum is the another drug, very wonderful drug. There is the psoriasis and skin cancer, but suddenly an alarming malignancy without any external signs sets in. You know the Cali drug, Calicard is the best drug for respiratory symptoms. And I must say the Caliards is the best drug for skin symptoms. You know, Caliards is a typical Cali type is there, and typical is a synthetic drug of Caliard. It's a wonderful drug. It's wonderful, acts also psoriasis, but dryness, the scaly eruptions, these are all, and you always use it in low potency, 6 or 30. A very wonderful drug. Justicia adatoda, very often used, Justicia adatoda just as expectorant, but Justicia adatoda, there are some characteristics of Justicia. You know the cough ending with sneezing at Seneca, but cough with sneezing, not ending with sneezing, cough and sneezing simultaneously. The acute stage, the very first stage, what is the characteristic written in Boric that you can use Justicia adatoda, the Basoka, but used in the beginning. And it is efficacious in dry cough. Also, it is efficacious with the whooping cough. Asthmatic attacks, the larynx, the laryngitis, typical larynx painful is the hoarseness. It's not the chronic hoarseness, it's the acute hoarseness. Very wonderful drug and always used in the beginning, the Justicia adatoda, for acute catarrhal conditions of the respiratory tract with sneezing. Calihydroiticum, I can say caliiod. Diffuse sensitiveness, you know the syphilis sensitiveness. Syphilis may be indicated in all stages, and all the cold food like syphilis aggravate. These are the caliiod I have used in caliiod in arthritis, osteoarthritis. I have used caliiod in very many cases with very good result. It is also Bryonia and caliiod also, it is very much similar in arthritis. Latrodactys mactans, I have used in very many cases of cardiac complaints. It is our sorbitrate. It is our modern medicine sorbitrate like medicine. And a typical picture of pathological picture of angina pectoris is presented by the action of the drug. The precordial region is very sensitive. All the pains from axilla to the hands, radiating to the hands, latrodactans mactans 6 maybe under the tongue. It is a very good drug. And also you can see like aspirin, lowered coagulability. It is the latrodactys mactans. We have used it in 6 potency and in typical angina pectoris pain, in typical coronary artery disease pain. Another one, the tomato, Solanum lycopodium. It is a rheumatism with influenza, and after influenza pains remain. It's a very wonderful characteristic symptom. Whenever he is in the open air, constant dribbling of urine in the open air. Right side affection, deltoid muscle affection, Solanum lycopodium, and in rheumatism with influenza. Lysine, very deep acting drug. We have used lysine in many cases, not many cases, but few cases, but very interesting cases. I should recommend only you to go through Dr. Espin's book of lysine. It is not the book of hydrophobia only, lysine. You don't think of lysine only as only the seeing the running water, urination, etc. of lysine. Think of lysine in other way. I have seen lysine to act in motor neuron disease. I have seen lysine to act in anterior horn cell disease, and patient live more than 10 years, 15 years, which was said by the modern medicine, it within 3 to 4 years life, 5 years life, the extends life. We have seen, even we have seen cured with the lysine epilepsy. Even in our personal life, we have used lysine in very many cases with very good result. But I should say the second line is very important one, that is a complaints from abnormal sexual desire. It is also related to your lysine, the lasciviousness, the priapism, frequent emissions, but no emissions during coition. So lysine, think of lysine as a constitutional remedy. Go through lysine, not only through William Borix. You have to consult all other books of lysine, the wonderful drug which acts on nervous system. Specifically, in the motor neuron disease, lysine is very much affected with a history of dog bite, with a history of taking injection, and you can see the side effects of the taking the anti-rabies vaccines. You can get the motor neuron disease, whatever the pathology is there, the lysine can produce all those type of pathological symptoms. So lysine as a good drug with a great depth on the nervous system disorders. Manganangum aceticum is a chronic hoarseness, tubercular laryngitis, cough ameliorate by lying down. The wonderful thing, usually cough aggravated by lying down, but in case of Manganum aceticum, the cough ameliorated by lying down because it is due to chronic hoarseness. It is an every cold rouses up a bronchitis. Every cold rouses up a bronchitis, which is again common to Dulcamara also. That's a wonderful line written in the Boric. Nastrium aquaticum, the tobacco narcosis related to structures of urinary apparatus and cirrhosis of liver and dropsy. It is very abused in cirrhosis. Nastrium aquaticum in low 6 or 30 potency, I have seen very many patients, but it is very much efficacious in you can get the result, at least the pathological simillimum it may be. The Nastrium aquaticum, very good drug. But I have never used in tobacco narcosis. I have not got the symptom of patients like that. But in cirrhosis of liver and dropsy, we have the experience. Mercurius dulcis for catarrhal depths is very wonderful drug for tuber-tympanic defect, TTD, especially after the Bryannia stage. It may be very, very, very good effective drug of Mercurius dulcis for catarrhal deafness, tuber-tympanic defect. Millefolium after operation for stones, it is written as per William Boric. Natramur with all the characteristic, I should not discuss. It is not, because Natramur is very common drug with the tears, with laughter, tears stream down face and coughing. There are more drugs like Natramur. The fever blisters, very characteristics, herpes of Natramur, the chronic mental affections of Natramur. Then nitromuriatic acid, the auxiliary, and this is the hell symptom, more adapted to hepatic torpor and gastric catarrh, common in hot and damp climates and aggravated by meat eating and alcohol. This is the nitromuriatic acid. Oleum jacoris aceli, atrophy of infants, emaciation with hot hands and head. This is for the infants who always complain that nothing is growing up. It is it's very worsening and worsening. You can think of it 3x, 6x potency, even 230 potency. It can be initiation of the improving of the health status of the child. Pereira breva can emit urine only when the goes on his knees, pressing hands firmly against the floor. The typical Pereira breva, the typical calculus pen. I always said there are Macphos, there are Camomilla, there are Belladonna, all the renal colics, there are Calcria carb with this typical hands, everything is there, but Pereira breva also with the typical sitting position, Pereira breva. Piperzenium, uric acid conditions, gouty and urinary calculi, constant backache, skin dry, urine scanty, rheumatic arthritis. These are all of Piperzenium. Polygonum punctum. I have seen wonderful cases, that is the very wonderful, the flatulent colic is used for Polygonum punctum and sensation as if hips were being drawn together. sensation as if hips were being drawn together. Very wonderful drug for varicosis, any type of varicosis, hemorrhoids, polygonum punctatum with the flatulency. Tela, greatly aggravated by lying on the left side, stomach and liver symptoms associated with pains in limbs. I should skip this one. Ruta, you know the carcinoma affecting lower bowel, even Dr. P. Benedict's method, they have a very good paper on Ruta on carcinoma of rectum. The CA rectum, Ruta is very, very good drug. And in our one of the medical college, the research work is going on Ruta graveolens on carcinoma rectum. It is very much efficacious in 30 potency. I should skip P1. The Stellaria medica, Stellaria media, wonderful drug. I have used many times for the rheumatic pains and especially of shoulder rheumatism. I have used it with the stiffness of joints. You can get all the symptoms of pulsatilla calyceal, the shifting type of pain, the chronic rheumatism with the thirst, classical thirst, the morning aggravation. Stellaria med is very wonderful, very good drug for the shoulder rheumatism with the sharp shifting pain. UVRC for chronic cystitis, wonderful drug UVRC, wonderful drug chronic cystitis in case of female, specifically in case of female. I have very seldom used in male, but in female I have used it with very good result. Urticaria without itching, one characteristic symptom. Urticaria without itching in case of UVRC with the cystitis. Teucrium marum, we know everything about Teucrium marum, but desire to stretch also present in Cinna, also present in Teucrium. Teucrium is very lean and thin, Cinna is fat and obese. Torula, I have already told that the anaphylactic states produced by protein and enzymes. That's why it is also a very good drug for the bad effects of vaccination, bad effects of vaccination. These are Torula cerevisiae is a psychotic remedy. The blunder, what all those are beauty, but the blunder what is made in these William Borics, that is again with the help of organ and the philosophy from practice or using customs, whatever maybe from practice or custom. Plato, dear Socrates, but truth is dear. So always use in the constitution, always believe in the constitution. Like adrenaline, total physiological symptoms given, total physiological symptoms in the adrenaline in the William Boric. In the cholestridium for cancer of the liver, total specific this one. Cuprum oxidatum nigricum, all kinds of worms, including tapeworms and trichinosis. Even the thyroidinum, the total symptomatology. So these are, you will be the students of first year, second year, they will be confused because so many pathological symptoms of everything of the disease symptoms, most of it is there on the basis of the use that is the thyroidinum. It is abused, even it is very badly used by the general people that thinking that thyroidinum may be the alternative of thyrox or eltroxin, like that thyroidinum, but it is not like that. So these are the few clinical tips. The time permits, I should ask the coordinator, is that time is over or I may continue for another 10 to 15 minutes? May I continue for, or the time is over?
Sir, actually the time is over for the day, but you can as well share some of the most important words of wisdom from your side for the youngsters, because there are some questions also they would like to ask for you.
Okay. Then yeah, we can go through directly can go to the question answer session. If any there is in the chat box, if any question, I may.
I know personally I don't want to stop here, but
no, definitely.
But today for the session we have
no, because time is
yeah,
definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
then we can go through the question answer session.
Yes, sir. Because all have complimented for a wonderful session. However, there were a few questions on potency repetition part of it. That's what I have seen right through. But if there are any, then probably I think you can come on the chat box and then ask for some clarifications.
Yeah.
I'm only saying the compliments.
Hmm. Now, sir, can carcinosin
Can,
is given in
yeah,
active state of complaint?
yes,
Carcinosin
yes.
usually we never give, but what is written in William Borick, that he also in one part he recommends that carcinosin can be given even it is written. That's why I put the slides there, and I have seen one or two stalwarts. They have experimentally they prescribe. I asked, now they're all the two stalwarts now they're no more. I asked all those or two stalwarts that why you are giving the carcinosin 32. They said because it is written. So the patient, we take the permission from the patient and we got result and we got carcinosin 30. That is the experimentally part by writing the from the taking the consent from the patients. You prescribe the carcinosin 30 in the active stage also, but not in the active stage. I am not talking about the advanced last stage, but in the cancer patient, established carcinoma patient, I have seen to prescribe those. If you ask me personally, I always in favor of constitutional prescribing. I even in palliation, I believe that the constitutional medicine in the palliation is a very good one. And if you are not getting any clue, if you are not getting any clues, it is a better time to go through whatever your observation is, that on the basis of that, whenever the patient is not giving any clue, it is also indication that the disease is in incurable stage. Because whenever you are getting clue that the disease is in curable stage, this is also one indication. Because dearth of symptoms also one indication to us. Lack of symptom, the silence also one important symptom to us.
Well, sir, I think there's one more question on fistula. Can you share your
Huh.
experience on treatment?
Fistula, I have never seen till date. I can show you that I have not seen a single patient of fistula without having history of tuberculosis in his personal life or in his family history. Every fistula patient you ask, you will get, otherwise it is the mechanical history of sitting a long more than per day 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours in the business, has to sit or the prolonged cycling with the 1 hour, 2 hour cycling per day, or having the history of past history or family history of tuberculosis. So you can get also in the books, in the all the Mathematica books, the fistula in ano alternate with chest symptom like calcarea fos, like silicea. All the drugs are tubercular drugs, and if you go through the again Barnett's vaccinosis and the fistula, your idea of this, the connection with the tuberculosis and the fistula, and if you go through the pathology of the fistula, it is also like that. So without anti-tubercular drugs, constitutional drugs, you can never cure fistula. So the maintaining cause, you have to say the patient the sitting posture, just to avoid the same type of sitting posture on the ischial tuberosity, not to sit on the ischial tuberosity more than 6 hours, 8 hours, not to cycling too much per day, and with the anti-constitutional remedy, with the anti-tubercular remedies. These are my advice for a fistula patient.
I think, sir, most of the thing is that, okay, there are only compliments coming up now. Hopefully that, okay, if time permits in future, we will have further association with you, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you for the wonderful exposition of pocket manual. As you rightly said, today at least we'll cover up 40 drugs. I think you have done more than that. And not only that, I think you also aroused a kind of interest of how to utilize this pocketbook. That was something very, very wonderful. Thank you once
I should
again.
mention only one thing, that we have gone through only the Mathematica part. This book also have the therapeutic index and the repertory, and there are very few 4 or 5 pages or rubrics which is only found in this Mathematica repertory part, which is not found in any other repertory. So here this our today's discussion is only based on Mathematica part.
So, well, I think Dr. Dheeraj, in his initial interaction with you, has confirmed that, okay, yes, the topic which you have chosen
Yeah.
was wonderful and apt. And in a way, as I thank him for uh, getting you as one of the speakers, I also, on behalf of all the participants and the institution, thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
And over to Dr. Jalidi, ma'am.
Gratitude is the most exquisite form of courtesy. I thank the Almighty for His choicest blessings and keeping us safe during this pandemic. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Rajat Chattopadhyay on behalf of our administrator, principal, vice principal, faculty members, and students of Father Muller Homeopathic Medical College and all the delegates for sharing his expertise on the utility of pocket manual of homeopathic Medica in day-to-day practice by Dr. William Borick. I profoundly thank Dr. Srinath Rao for moderating this session and facilitating the efficient progress of this session. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our administrator, Reverend Father Roshan Krasna, Principal Dr. Shiv Prasad K, Vice Principal Dr. ESG Prabhukiran, and the entire organizing team of Provision webinar series led by Dr. Dheeraj Fernandez for providing each one of us with a unique opportunity to explore the sea of knowledge. A big thank you to all our dear delegates. It's your presence and participation which attributes to the success of webinar series and motivates us to excel. Tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. sharp, we are coming up with yet another interesting session by Dr. Namita Gopinath on the topic Understanding the Mind-Body Interaction in Homeopathic Case Taking. Thank you one and all. Wishing everyone a peaceful and restful night ahead. Thank you.